What's up, YouTube world? It's your boy J Dub, the number one comment on YouTube. And I'm back with another review. Today, I will be reviewing Married at First Sight. This is season 14, episode 11. And this is the Katina and Olajuwon segment. For those who are new to my channel, I do recaps of reality shows. I do a detailed review. Don't hit every single scene by scene, but I also point some things out that y'all might not have seen. But as the number one commenter, I ask you to get down in those comments. Tell me something that I might have missed. Tell me what you think. The motto of this channel is say what you say. I don't care what you say. Let's just keep it respectful between each other. Other than that, if you want to talk about the way Olajuwon shake his head, when he off his meds, feel free. I'm with it. So let's go ahead and get started with the review. It starts out with Katina. She's doing her wifely duty. She's in the kitchen and she's cooking bacon and eggs, and half of the eggs then burnt onto the pan because I guess she didn't put no oil or no spray or something like that, because she done lost half the eggs. They all stuck on the pan. But Olajuwon seemed happy because he just got her cooking, and that's where he wanted her at. So they go to Katina having a visit. She's having a FaceTime visit from one of her friends. Olajuwon probably won't let them come to the apartment no more. Who knows? So Katina lets her know that Isaac has been very frustrated with her, that she wasn't being vulnerable enough. And the friend wanted to know, like, why? Like, you're in a married at first sight process. Why would you be open to being vulnerable? But I guess Katina's leaving out a really important part of the situation. She tells her friend, well, it's because of my past hurts that I stay guarded. But she didn't tell her friend that Olajuwon doesn't give her a safe space to even speak, if she did anyway. So who knows? And she lets her friend know that they have not actually consummated the marriage, but they're big on PDA. And as soon as she actually consummates the marriage, she's going to send her a text and let her know what type of 5-star rating that Olajuwon is going to give. So, so Katina, I don't know if she's in denial, if she's delusional, but she goes into talking about the situation, like just telling him that she's really happy. She can't really explain how she feels in her heart about Olajuwon, but he adds to her joy. And I'm like, who is she talking about? Who is she talking about? I haven't seen the joy. I've seen her make like promises and then berate her, talk down to her, manipulate her. I'm still looking for the joy, but I guess everybody's definition of joy is different. So we all know that the couples are having their 1 month anniversary, and Katina surprises Olajuwon with a gondola ride, and it looks fun. It looks romantic. I've even seen some of those gondola rides in Las Vegas at the Venetian Hotel. I always wanted to do that, and I said the next time I get next to one, I make sure I'm gonna partake in it. This is a short life, so you got to have fun or do some of the things that you want. I just never actually made plans to do it, but I want to do it. I didn't know they had them in Boston, but I guess I don't think I ever go to Boston. So Isaac is pretty much saying that, like, over the last week, Katina is really showing him who she is, and I'm thinking, like, why he's saying that? I guess what, because she threw the little movie party with cold popcorn and Skittles, and things that cater to him, and I guess that's showing him what she is, or what she's about, and that means just pleasing him. So he's kind of confirming her, or confirm her actions to say, like, this is the right direction to grow. It's all a grooming process, and there's no secret. Katina learned that on the day of the wedding, but I guess I don't know how she ignored that. But pretty much in his confessional, Isaac, he rates his marriage as probably like at this point like an 8.5, and he felt like this was the best thing that Katina has ever done, or anybody have done for him with the Gondulent ride. And again, that's what it's all about. Is about what Isaac wants, what pleases him, and not what can he do or what can he give. It's all about him. So it was something that was funny that you know, Isaac was struggling saying Gondulent or whatever, and he was like, I just don't know. Does anybody notice that Isaac doesn't shake his head as much? You know, maybe Katina's putting some of his medication in the eggs, maybe calming down a little bit. I don't know, but even the Gondulent operator was telling Olajuwon, you sound like you're saying ganja, it's Gondulent, and Isaac was like, yeah, I know that very well. That's what I think he'd be smoking on top of that roof when he be up there talking to Lindsay. Because when he came back, his eyes was red, like he was high. I went back and looked at that, and I'm like, he ain't sleepy. He high, and that's exactly what I think was really going on. So Isaac is talking to Katina. You know, they just going over, you know, how things have been going, and to me, he's really off because he's sitting on the couch talking to Katina, and he talking about himself in the third person. Like, you know, this man sitting on his couch. You know, he's a great man, and you know he's great because of you, and because you won't point out my mistakes, and you don't, you know, you just, you know, kind of bring them to me. And he's saying that he made a mistake by pointing the finger at Katina all the time, and that he could, you know, he could do better. And he gives her, not kind, he gave her a backhanded compliment, you know, talking about, he's like, you know, you really stepped up with the cooking, even though it's not that great. I'm like, why do you have to say that? Why? You know, he got to build her up, tear her down. So now, like, yeah, I thank you for cooking, but you need to do a better job at cooking my meals. That's what it said, but in a kind of nice, nasty sort of way. And they pretty much, after that, they pretty much head for bed or whatever for the night. And Katina asked Olajuwon for some night clothes because she ran out. And I'm thinking, like, why? What's going on? He didn't let her go back to get her clothes, or I don't know what's going on. I mean, why does Katina need to wear some of Olajuwon's basketball shorts and tank top? I thought that was just like real strange because I'm sure she knew that they had to stay in an apartment, and I just don't get it. I don't get it. It just stuck out to me, and I didn't understand it. So, like I said, with Katina, it goes to like a delusional thing. She was like saying in a confessional that she was so glad that her love story is created in positive energy instead of negative. And I'm like, I'm still be trying to figure out who these people, who they talking about. Like, I don't know, but I mean, as far as with Olajuwon, he was more talking about, you know, he's into again that grooming mode and saying more so now his feelings have upgraded for Katina. Now he's feeling her. You know, I guess he just liked her the first step, but now he's feeling her. So now he's giving her goals to reach for higher and higher. So I don't know what's next after feeling, but yeah, it's just like it's all bad. And I said it's just so one sided because we never really talk about what he needs from Katina. When a large one goes, I mean, like, because we never hear from Katina like what she wants or what she needs, but it's more so when he wants to kind of, let's say, so correct and be the kinder Isaac or whatever, and not, you know, all the yelling and craziness and all of that. But you know, it's one sided. But it just really blows my mind when Katina talks about the marriage in such a joyful way or so solid, like they have like such a great foundation and all that going on. That's just wild to me. I don't see it at all. I don't see it. So they go into the group dinner with all the couples. They get dressed up and go out, and you know, the person, they always got to pick a production person to kind of lead the conversation, and who know none other than Mark the Shark. He got to lead it. He got to find out how everybody's marriage is going. And Katina says, again, it's the consistency that will kind of get her to say yes on decision day, long as things are well. But certainly they have a solid foundation in their marriage. So we're going to let Katina have it or whatever. I don't know. She made some agreement with Isaac. I don't know. But things seem to be going normal. I was about to say well, but I'm going to say normal because they're not arguing or there's a situation going on. But when they get to Isaac, you can see something's a little extra off about him. He about to drop a bomb. He lets the whole group know that pretty much that him and Katina have great chemistry, but he doesn't know if the chemistry is more of a friendship chemistry or a marriage chemistry. And, everybody's looking crazy. And including Katina, she's like, where's this coming from? Like, we don't even understand what's happening. And Olajuwon's kind of backing off of it and saying, well, I don't really want to get into it or whatever the case may be. And Katina was like, well, yeah, that's okay because it's nothing that you brought to me. We were just kissing a few minutes ago at the table, and now you got such a big problem with me and you bringing us to the front of the table. And Olajuwon pretty much saying well, I don't really want to get into it because, it could get real ugly. That's making threats. And everybody's looking confused, and you can see the energies in the room. So he's almost insinuating or threatening something that Katina did without telling her. But he's telling the group or insinuating that to the group. So Olajuwon comes out, but because Katina has already said, okay, well, you do have an issue with me. I don't know what it is. Let's talk about it in private. That wasn't good enough for Olajuwon. He still got to keep going on with it because I guess he's looking bad in front of the group and crazy because nobody understands what's going on. So he lets the group know because that's how he's really addressing it, even though Katina said, let's talk about it in private. He said when he was on the bus, he borrowed Katina's phone. And they show him on the tape just looking at her phone or whatever. And he saw something on the phone. And again, everybody's still confused. They don't know what's going on. And they try to diffuse the situation, even though it's supposed to be a private situation. But even Katina's reaching out to Jasmine and saying hey, am I saying something wrong? Or is it making sense? Is it making sense to you? And even Jasmine jumped in it, which I don't think she should have, but I guess she tried to calm the situation and tell them to say hey, you brought all this to the front, this was supposed to be a private situation, and you didn't address her from it because Isaac is saying he's being so honest and transparent, and he always got to grab his tool out the toolbox and say, well, I'm talking to you, not at you, to justify what he's saying. He could have waited, or he could have pulled Katina to the side or something, but that wasn't the right format to do so. But he's so emotional, and he doesn't know how to manage his emotion, which is extra dangerous for a man. And he just ruined the whole night. Everybody was talking and just trying to just have a good time. And even I think Nori really kind of ended it when she was y'all should really be talking about this in private, which she was right, even though Katina had already said it, but it kept going. You don't need to bring everybody else in it. And after that, Katina was pretty much done. She was well, I'm ready to go. I'm done. I'm ready to go. And in her confessional, she was like it was all good a minute ago. Now he done turned to Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I don't know what's going on with him. So they leave the dinner or whatever, and they get back to the shared apartment, and you can tell the tension is high. And Isaac asked the question where it's going to be some trouble afterwards. Let me see your phone. And Katina wanted to why? Just let me see it. And she gave it to him. And then he see, what's this? And she was oh, it's a old app that I didn't get it. And Isaac was well, you spitting in my face that you still got that. Everything that I have thought that would before this process would offend you, I've deleted it and done away with it, and you haven't done this. And he get the waving the hands in her face, and he definitely is yelling. He's telling, you're a stranger, and I put all my trust into you and giving you the benefit of doubt and putting everything into it. He's questioning her character. And like I said, he got really loud and aggressive with her. And like I'm thinking, listen. I thought when he looked in her phone, I'm thinking like maybe he saw some picture or some inappropriate text to one of her friends, a guy friend or something like that. I mean, he wasn't even trying to have a conversation. He was just yelling. And I understood what Katina was saying because she was trying to answer his questions even though he was yelling at her. She was like, well, yeah, if I saw you do that, I would ask you about it. That's what you're supposed to do. Ask you about it and get the explanation, and when we go from there, not just accuse and attack. Because I don't believe that Katina did that intentionally, or like she was still cruising the date apps or whatever. Maybe Isaac saw last season and he didn't want no part of it, like the way Brett and Ryan was doing or whatever with the apps. But I mean, he blew that situation all out of control. And Katina was like, she was holding her own. She was trying like saying like, you yelling at me, we can't talk. And if you gotta yell, then Isaac like, well, we just won't talk. I mean, he was being real nasty to her, and she was done. I mean, Katina made the threat towards production, saying like, listen, y'all need to get this mic off me. I'm done with this, and y'all gonna see the real Katina. And that was pretty much it when it went off, because the guy just blows up on her. Isaac is irrational. That could have had a conversation if he was so bothered by that. And every episode it shows like what he should be writing down the list, what a husband does. He definitely needs to control his emotions and still treat his wife with respect. Even if he's mad at her, even if he don't like something she's done, he's supposed to sit down and have a conversation. Katina is going to work with you. Why you got to do that? He going talking about she's spitting in his face and she's so disrespectful, and he questioned everything about her. I swear, I hope she decides to take her out when it's on decision day. I want her to make the decision day today, but it's just constant hurt, harassment, badgering, all of that stuff. It's unhealthy. But as I keep saying, only Katina will know when she had enough. So pretty much that was it for the episode. And then in the next episode, it just showed Katina breaking down more because Olajuwon is always hurting her, one way or another. So keep them fingers crossed, and hopefully, she get out of that. So again, get down in those comments. Let me know what y'all thought. What was your take on the situation? How you felt about who was right, who was wrong? Did Olajuwon do too much? Was Katina wrong for having an app in her phone? Let me know something. So as I say, I gotta take a heavy, deep breath with them. It's exhausting. It's exhausting with them. So as I say, I appreciate y'all's support. And y'all could be anywhere in this YouTube world, but you're here with me. I really appreciate it, and I really mean it.